We've thrown out so many iconic things here, and we actually had Jeremy Allen White on recently, and I was asking him.
You had Jeremy?
Yeah.
Irons?
Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White. Wonderful actor.
Dude, wow, he's a man. Yeah. Really, really great guy. But I had asked him, and I imagine you're going to give me a similar answer, but like, does he consider himself a comedic actor? Because he'd been nominated for comedy. Do you have a lane you consider yourself, because you're so versatile and so in everything? Do you just think of yourself, I'm an actor and I'll play any role? But you mentioned working with Quentin Tarantino so often, obviously Danny McBride, Uncle Baby Billy. Like, there's so much you do. Is there something that you think that's really what I'm born to do? That genre, that style?
Is this 60 Minutes? No, we just go into,
that's a deep question.
Hey, man, I love it. I love it. Thank
are you funny
much.
or are you not?
No, I appreciate it. I tell you, I don't know the answer to your question, in the sense that I genuinely don't look at. I think dramas are funny, and I think comedies are dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And so but I do think I was talking to a reporter right before we came here, and he said, "What is a through line, would you say, through the things that you've been given an opportunity to do?"
That's a good question for you.
Well, but it speaks to your question, which is so kind. Thank you very much. But I think there is an opportunity to make people laugh and make people cry simultaneously, and more often than not, the dramas that I've been a part of, or the comedies that I've been a part of, the people that I've been given the opportunity to play, are often coming from a deep place of pain.
Mm-hmm.
And there has I've been given the opportunity to generate pathos and empathy for people that you wouldn't otherwise kind of empathize with, see it from their point of view, and so.
Do you go into it thinking that? That's like a heavy responsibility if that's your approach to it. Like, I have to make people.
I don't think I have to do that. Like, I don't like.
Okay.
It's a result because you care about them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And.
But I bet a lot of people don't care about them. I bet I would
Maybe,
imagine
you
you seem like a pretty. Like an empath who does care. I'm sure there are people who are like, I'm just here to act, or I'm here to check,
you mean other? Yeah.
like,
maybe so. Yeah, for me,
they're probably not as good as Walton Goggins, but
Come on, y'all making me. Come on now, KFC. Where's some of the mashed potatoes? Who has a wing around here?
You said something interesting there, where you find drama in comedy and comedy in drama.
A great line.
Yeah. And it reminded me of a line that Rob McElhenney has said once, where he had said that he found, I think it was when he was writing Mythic Quest, where he found writing dramatic stuff easier.
Yeah.
Because then he does writing Always Sunny.
Yeah.
And he said, because I know what makes you sad. I know what makes everybody sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what can make you laugh.
Wow.
And do you ever feel that when you're on set in those different...
It is
different genres.
Well, it would be. I'd love to hear
thought.
what Danny has to say about that. I can't speak for him. He has his finger on the pulse of funny as well, or maybe his hand on the throat of funny as well as anyone. I think he makes me laugh. So I think the recipe for any of this is you can't control other people's reaction to whatever it is that you are doing. The only thing that you can control is your own. And I don't say a line because I think it's going to be funny. It's just the way that this person, Baby Billy, would say this line, and he could say it a million different ways. I don't know the answer to that question. It makes me laugh, on the other side of it. And if that's kind of a litmus test, then okay, I'll go with that. It's never result oriented. I've never been a part of anything where I've put the result more higher than the process. It's the process and doing everything. I mean, in conducting an interview, right? I mean, is it like, are you excited to get home and watch the conversation that you had? Or are you excited to have the conversation with someone?
Right.
The result is irrelevant to me.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and so
that must be a tough place to get to. To get to that.
I mean,
that
also
mentality.
you are, brother. You
Tough
kind
place to
of.
get to.
I mean, you're in the right and the wrong industry for that, though, because it's a very results-driven industry in a sense. You know what I mean? Like there are.
In what way? In what way? Maybe
in terms of like if you're worried, if you're just focusing on what you do and your experience, but the ratings aren't there, or the audience isn't responding, or your castmate's not responding, or whatever. Right. There is a lot more to think about than just your experience.
There is a business.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, I had my own show on network television, and it's something that was so deeply personal to me. It's called The Unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I loved it.
That hit home for me, man. I was
thank you for saying
in the
that.
same exact spot when that came out, living that.
And you know what? And a lot of people were living that. And the person that Wade Felton was based on one of our producers. Mm-hmm. And
it's a very represented, I don't know what the right word is, but like it's not something that gets a lot of sympathy or attention or
maybe like in that context, but we're all going through it. We all have friends that are losing spouses or have lost a spouse. Mm-hmm. And at this particular moment, leading up to that, I had like 4 or 5 friends, women that had lost their husbands and husbands that had lost their wives. And this was an opportunity to make a comedy, on CBS about this experience, and they were extremely accommodating to me, and our show runners Mike and Bill, and our producers Peyton Reed, who I worked with on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Mm-hmm. Peyton was the producer on it, and I said, "Listen, I'm interested. I'd love to do this. I can't do a multicam, if we do it a single camera, and we never write a joke, and we just kind of come from the heart, and we'll make them laugh, and then when they least expect it, they're going to be crying their eyes out at a half-hour comedy on CBS." Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Okay, sure. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, okay, let's do that." and we did, man. And the numbers are, God, I suppose you can kind of like go back and forth in your mind and justify or validate whatever the numbers mean. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's for somebody else, man. Well, what I know is that, again, like the experience with that woman in Whole Foods, I had, I'm going to say 25 people, from a hike on Runyon Canyon to a dude picking me up from LAX, stop and pull over and say, "I lost my wife and I have 2 young sons and I don't know what to do and I feel like I can talk to you about it." Mm-hmm. And I said, "You can, man. Yeah. I gotta see my son, but I've got like 20 minutes, man. Like, let's talk what the going on." And we're all in it. We're all going through it. And so that was it wasn't result oriented, and it didn't get picked up. It should have,
right?
And it didn't. And you know what? One door closes, another one opens. It is what it is. That's life, right? But if you keep having the conversations, the intimate conversations that you do with the guests that are on, and you open them up the way that you've opened me up, you've been doing this for a very long time. Who knows what happens kind of after this with your next interview? Just live your life with purpose, man.
That's
what I think.